So for them and some of us with ADHD, like caffeine can doesn't just make us jittery, it actually calms us down.
Yes, because the difference is in dopamine pathways, caffeine can give people with ADHD a short term stabilizing effect, more focus, less chaos.
Totally. Like I mean, how many of us call our coffee a focus pill? Welcome to the Food Freedom Rebellion for nurturers and healers, where restriction gets the finger and real healing finally begins. We're having honest conversations about the habits, shifts, and truth that help you break up with burnout, ditch the food rules, and actually feel amazing in your body again.
We're your hosts. I'm Bonni, herbal remedy lover, gut health rebel, and helping women decode their symptoms and heal wildly without all the boring science lectures or food fear.
And I'm Kerri, best-selling author, recovering sugar addict, and certified health coach on a mission to help women stop white knuckling their way through wellness and finally enjoy food again. We created this podcast because we both lived through the crash and burn cycles of doing everything right and still feeling like something was wrong.
We were crashing under chronic sugar cravings, bloated, burnt out, and buried under a pile of health advice that really didn't actually help. So we teamed up to bring you the unfiltered truth, what actually works, and how to make it doable.
And each week, you're going to get real talk, rebellious tips, and permission to rewrite the rules so you can feel powerful, free, and fully at home in your body. Welcome to the rebellion. Let's dive in. Hey, hey, rebels. This week's challenge might make you sweat a little bit and not just from withdrawal. Yep, we're talking caffeine and how much you're really drinking, what it's doing to your energy, your gut, and your adrenals, and why this might be the week your nervous system finally gets to exhale.
And if you just side eyed your coffee mug, don't panic. We are not here to take your cup away forever. This week, it's all about awareness and boundaries, which are two of our favorite rebellious acts. The goal isn't no caffeine. That's not what we're going for here. The goal is smart caffeine, which basically is just understanding your threshold and what happens when you blow past it.
Yeah, so I used to think caffeine was my personality. Like, who else can relate to that, right? Like, who am I if I'm not drinking 3 lattes in a day? Not kidding. So,
Yeah.
I'd be running on empty, right? Overdoing everything, but then that tired and wired feeling and wondering why my body felt like it was glitching.
Yeah. And you're not alone. Caffeine really does give you energy. It's not fake. It stimulates your nervous system and it increases alertness, which can be helpful in moderation. The key is how much, how often, and what state your system is in when you drink it.
Yeah, when my system was already stressed, that helpful boost that we just talked about sent me straight into anxiety, massive anxiety, gut chaos. We all heard my gut stories and the 2 p.m. crashes. So I remember one of our members, we're going to call her Lynn, who was living on 3 gigantic iced coffees a day, okay? Who can relate, right? And she'd say, I have to have them or I can't function." But by mid-afternoon, she would be crashing so hard, it felt like a hangover.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, think about caffeine like a powerful herb. That's what it actually is. And every herb has a therapeutic range. When you're constantly pushing past that range, it's called a threshold. That's why you hear me saying that so much. You're basically using that caffeine to override exhaustion. But when you push that limit and you go past it, especially when you blast past it with like those 4 or 5 lattes every single day and the iced coffees, it stops supporting you and it actually starts draining you.
Draining, literally, right?
Mhm.
You said it can dry out adrenals before.
Yeah, overuse of caffeine, it dehydrates your adrenals on a cellular level. So picture this. Picture wringing out a sponge that's already dry. You might get one more squeeze of energy, but there's nothing after that. And that's when the jitters, anxiety, the wired but exhausted, so wired but tired, that's when that kicks in. And here's what's happening physiologically. Caffeine blocks adenosine, okay? The chemical that builds up throughout the day and makes you feel tired. It also stimulates your adrenals to release cortisol and adrenaline. your stress hormones. That's that energy hit.
So basically, you're borrowing energy from your future self.
Basically, yeah. If your nervous system is regulated, if you're sleeping, eating balanced meals, managing stress, managing your blood sugar, then caffeine can boost your focus and your mood. It does a great job. But if you're already running on fumes, caffeine just piles stress on top of stress on top of stress.
Yeah, that was me for years, living off of caffeine instead of sleep, and then wondering why I felt tired. And honestly, I see that pattern in so many of our women. It becomes survival mode.
Oh my gosh, yeah, like momhood. I
Mhm.
that first year with the boys, the amount of coffee I had in my system just to make it through the day. And, the kicker is here. Once that adrenal wall starts drying out, your body actually becomes less responsive to caffeine. So you need more for the same effect. It's like chasing an energy ghost. And that's what was happening that first year is I would hit a point where it would stop working.
Yeah, we see this so much, so
Mhm.
much. Okay, so let's talk gut because coffee and digestion, that is a way complicated relationship.
Oh my gosh, it's such a complicated relationship. So caffeine increases stomach acid, which can aggravate reflux, triggers bloat, it irritates the gut lining, but it also speeds up bowel movements. So that morning coffee effect, it's real, but it's not a detox. It's actually your nervous system in overdrive.
Yeah, and that coffee, like, makes me go moment, you know that? Right, that's not your digestion being amazing. It's your body saying, like, "Fight or flight, let's clear house."
Exactly. And when it happens day after day after day, your digestion never fully enters rest and digest mode. Your nutrient absorption, microbiome balance, they all take a hit and not a good one.
Yeah. You know who this reminds me of? This reminds me of Tanya. We're gonna call her Tanya. So she's one of our grads, and she was thinking that her morning reflux was just getting older. How many of you have been told, like, "You're just getting older, this is what happens?" But we had her reduce caffeine and support her gut, and guess what? Her reflux practically disappeared within weeks. Hey, hey, it's Carrie, and yep, Bonnie's here too.
Always. And listen, if food rules make you want to scream into your salad pretending to be a Buddha bowl, we got to talk.
Our Food Freedom Fast Track is a 5-day crash course to ditch cravings, make healthier choices, and finally feel normal around food again.
No more starting over every Monday. No more I'll be good tomorrow. Just 5 days to flip the script and feel amazing in your body.
Yeah, you're going to learn how to eat what you love without the guilt. And it's only $27. Real, raw, and ridiculously doable.
So grab the link in the show notes and let's kickstart a brand new perspective where you're actually the boss of your own plate. Now, let's get back to today's episode.
So, before we talk about cutting back, we need to talk about something huge in our community, ADHD and caffeine. So, I mean, we both have boys, right? And like boys are always marked for ADHD and they're always super hyperactive, right? So for them and some of us with ADHD, like caffeine can doesn't just make us jittery, it actually calms us down.
Yes, because the difference is in dopamine pathways, caffeine can give people with ADHD a short term stabilizing effect, more focus, less chaos.
Totally. Like, I mean, how many of us call our coffee a focus pill? I feel more organized and less scattered, like my brain is suddenly clicked on.
Yeah, and that's why it can feel therapeutic, but those nervous system thresholds, they still apply. I have ADHD. I've always had it. I was that hyperactive kid. But like I told you, I hit a threshold and it stopped working. Even if caffeine helps your brain focus, your body still pays for that tab if you blow past those limits.
Yeah, I got to the point where I could drink coffee and still fall asleep immediately after, and I thought that that meant, "Oh, I have a high tolerance," but nope, that was my nervous system, like, waving a white flag, "Please stop."
Absolutely. It's that whole I can drink coffee and take a nap. And it's not a flex, you guys. It is a red flag. It means that your body and your system is so depleted that caffeine can't even spark a response anymore.
Mm. All right, well, Rebels, so let's just talk about the challenge for the week, shall we? So, step one, track your caffeine for a few days. Let's see what you're actually consuming, right? We're talking coffee, tea, energy drinks, if you're still having those, chocolate, all of it. Track your caffeine for the day.
And then step two, cut it back by 50 to 75%. Now, you want to figure out what you're actually drinking first, which is why you want to track it and make sure you're tracking for a couple of days so you have a good idea of what's happening. And if you usually have 4 cups, go down to 2. If it's a daily energy drink, try drinking half. And if that makes you want to throw your phone at us, that's probably a sign that this reset and this challenge is way overdue.
Yeah. If you're already feeling defensive, this one's for you.
Yep. Yep. So start hydrating. That is one tip to get through this challenge without throwing something at us. Caffeine's really dehydrating, you guys. If you delay your first cup at least 90 minutes after waking, it also allows your natural cortisol rhythm to rise first. I always like to recommend make sure you have it with some food. Do not have your first cup of coffee on an empty stomach when you're starting with hydrating with water, lemon water, whatever you start your day with, and then you wait until you have breakfast to drink that first cup of coffee, your body and that cortisol rhythm, it flows much better and much healthier, and it actually helps you long term later in that afternoon.
Yeah. Thank you for bringing that up because, like we said, we're not telling you to completely give up all of it, right? But I
Mhm.
want to take a second and talk about a smart swap. You can have some dandelion root tea, some roasted chicory, adaptogenic blends are so yummy in teas as well. You just want to think of something that supports instead of depletes.
Absolutely. I mean, when we work with clients, we rebuild energy from the inside out. We regulate the nervous system, we get into balancing blood sugar and repairing gut function. Caffeine fits beautifully in after the foundation is strong.
Yeah, that was my turning point. Once my sleep improved, my stress calmed down, and then I didn't need caffeine anymore. Do I enjoy caffeine sometimes? Absolutely, but I don't need it, right? And then when I do have it, it actually works again because my tolerance isn't as high as Bonnie had mentioned, right? I don't need it to keep me standing.
Yeah, and I mean that's the point where caffeine becomes a tool, not a lifeline. Becomes enjoyment versus an addiction. You can just go and enjoy that cup of coffee without it wrecking your body.
Yeah, like a total ritual.
Mhm.
Okay, so I want to share another shout out. We want to shout out to a 90-day grad. Her name is Chloe, and she swore caffeine would be the last thing she would ever give up.
Oh my gosh, I remember this. I remember this session. Oh, yeah, we all kinda jaws on the floor, jaws on the floor.
Yeah. Uh-huh. So, right, but then she hit the caffeine reset phase and she was forgetting coffee on the counter, right? And this wasn't something forced. It just happened naturally. And I think she was as blown away, right, as we were. I mean, we knew it was going to happen, but people love their coffee.
They do, and I mean, this is Chloe's story is what happens when you nourish first and you remove second. Once your body knows how to create the energy, the things that felt impossible, they stop feeling like a battle, and all of your systems flow a lot better. They're much more seamless.
So this week, track your caffeine, notice how it makes you feel and when you crave it most. Make sure you're writing all this down. Is it fatigue? Is it just a habit? It could also be emotional burnout.
Yeah, I mean, awareness is everything, you guys.
Yeah. And then share. We want to share what you swapped, share your wins in the community. If you're not part of our community, you need to be. We want to see your progress and cheer you on.
Absolutely. And you might be surprised at how grounded and steady your energy feels when your adrenals are finally able to just breathe.
All right, Rebels. That's your wake up call without the triple espresso. that we love so much. Catch you next time.
Thanks for hanging out with us today. If this episode made you laugh, nod, or say, damn, that's me, hit subscribe so you never miss a rebellious dose of real talk and gut wisdom.
And check out the show notes for links to our free community, upcoming workshops, and more ways to rise inside the rebellion. All right, rebels, that's all for now. We'll catch you next time on the Food Freedom Rebellion, where healing gets loud and freedom tastes damn good.